Welcome back, guys. Harry here, known as Trade Sharp, and today is going to be a bit of a shorter video. Not much to talk about. I want to keep it short, concise, not like the last video. And if you guys haven't checked out the last video, I went into a full analysis of what I think is happening to Bitcoin here. So definitely check that out. Also, please join the Telegram. Links are all in the description. We have a lot going on, a lot of good stuff. So just join, free to join, and hope you can benefit from it. So let's have a look into the charts now and see what we have going on. So we are holding this level. We did extend that bounce and we hit exactly to my target here, which I was talking about right here at that. I was actually looking for like 42.8. It came up to 42.500, right? But I was looking for it to reject here. And, essentially what we're doing, unfortunately, is putting in another lower high. Now, you see, to be honest, putting in another lower high is a bit deadly. Looking at, I don't like RSI. Go away, RSI. Stokes, they did get pretty up there. Now looking like they want to turn down. There is this trend line coming in all the way from these highs here. Actually, nope, that is not a trend line. Did look like it. So, no, once they start crossing over, yeah, I will be looking for a little bit of a downside move here. I just want to see how the daily has ended up. So yeah, daily closed bullish. That's a big shame, guys. What I really would have liked to seen is the daily broke its own high here. So if this candle came up and broke the high, that would look good, right? But because that would be on the daily, this is your low, this is your high, and then the new daily closed bullish at support, right? And then if the new daily can come down, make its bottom wick, flip up, and then break its high, that would be a higher high, right? So if we have a low now and then another higher high, guess what that is? Right? We have a high, a low, and a higher high, which would have been on the daily. On the smaller time frames, you're printing some structure. If we're printing structure like this, then we can extend this bounce towards the upside, right? Before having to worry about something, all based off what? The daily time frame. So, that's why I would like to have, to see that, but, it's not happening, and that's fine. We have to work with what we got, because what we do have now is we have developed some structure. So, there is a time as a trader, it's going to answer that question again, right? Up or down, right? And as a trader, you have conditions for the upside and you have conditions for the downside. Now, what's very interesting is that, when those conditions are met, that is the position that you put yourself as a trader to go and execute on what you have found out, right? Without that, you just have to be patient. You have to be patient and you can't do anything. And that's, the part of being a trader and analyzing markets. You can't analyze every single candle movement, because if you could, then you would be a very rich person, because you could take a trade on every single candle. But with that being said, I do want to get into the lower time frames here. So let's go have a look at the weekly. What is the weekly closing here in 2 days? Weekly, if it can close above, this 38,000, that's looking very, very, positive, to be honest. And, weekly momentum is down. What do we have going on here? Yeah, so weekly momentum, has had a full reset, which could be a good thing, right? And I would like to reference the 2017. When did we get a reset so deep? So if we look now, our reset is coming into all the way into the 47. And in 2017, the lowest we got was 46, right? So you can see here we got 47, 46, yeah? So, it's not out of the ordinary. It's something like this, to be honest. That's quite was an aggressive dump. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, let's go over to BLX here. Was going to keep this a shorter video. But what I would like to see to happen is what happened in 2013, where we came down very, very heavy like this. And then we have this nice recovery, go sideways, and then continue on and upwards. And I would like to see that happen. And I would like Bitcoin to put in a base. And where is that base going to be? Well, I do want to put that base to be that last low, and this was it, that 29.7. I want that to be the low. And how are we going to know if that's the low? So first of all, closing a weekly below 32,000 is going to be terrible for Bitcoin, and that's going to immediately put me into a bear market. As soon as a weekly candle closes below 32,000, I'm automatically put in a bear market. And that's it. We can start talking about 19,000, 20,000. and these type of numbers. But until that happens, I remain bullish, right? Where do I, so now let's talk about the daily. Daily looks like, stoke momentum is turned up though, right? And we can see, and I was talking about how low this was getting, and I really was looking. So that's that bounce that we were talking about. So if Bitcoin can just play around these areas here, all right, and not break below this 36,000, if it does close a 4 hour below this 36,000, then we're looking at some scary numbers, guys, right? So logically, where is our last support, right? So 36,000. If we break below that, which is also around this area here, we're looking, probably, well, if you look at the most recent, you're looking all the way back down here to fill this wick, right? It will be a wick fill. Remember, I was talking about the weekly opening and then causing a wick fill in the last video. So it will end up being a wick fill. So we probably come down here, somewhere around this area, we get a small bounce, all right? Then we can start talking about our next level, which is gonna be right here at 27,000. And this, I don't expect this to happen all in the same day, but you guys saw what happened, right? It's possible now, it's possible, but I would expect a bounce, and then basically what I would expect is lower lows and lower highs. Great. Sorry, guys. So what I do expect is lower lows and lower high. Come down, come up, come down, come up, come down. And, obviously that would close the weekly below 32,000. And closing the weekly below 32,000 would mean, we're going into lower and lower and lower numbers. So what I need to see is Bitcoin just to range in this area. Maybe takes a quick swipe, but not break this. As long as this level is held, then we look good, right? Then I look for this to accumulate and then start distributing towards the upside. Where do I start to get bullish? Well, let's start, now we have to give upside targets, right? So so technically on the 4 hour, your last higher low is technically in this area here, like so, right? That's technically your last higher low. But do I get bullish above this? No, I don't, because this is not, a proper area, yeah? So where I do get bullish is I want to see, so let's go on, let's see where I would get bullish. Above, I'm interested to take a Fibonacci, to be honest, and see what is our levels, just to see what's going on, right? Yeah, so that's the 618. So yeah, I would like to see us get above there, but let's see if we take it from the actual dump to our current low, and then that's bringing us up to this high here. Where's our current? Oh no, that's not accurate. So right there, and then where we dump from was right here. We'll use this area here, which is coming in at 50,000. So I need to see, basically at the end of the day, what does it mean? It's breaking back into the range. So let's look at this. This classic price action, guys. Look. All right. Where can I show you clearly? See that 47,000. All right. So here's your range we had, yeah? This was your established range. So we need to divide this. Let's go on these charts here and let's start doing this. So here's your ranges, yeah? We have a range 1 breakout, and here's your range 2 breakout, all right? So range 1 breakout, very susceptible to fake outs, right? And we could have just pulled back in, because essentially this whole thing here is a range, right? So using the Fibonacci and all of these stuff, what it boils down to is that if we were to break into 45,000, what is that? I said on the way down, this is susceptible to fake outs. On the way back up, what is it going to be susceptible to? Also another fake out. And that's where I think your fake out will happen. People will get bullish breaking back into the range. It will break 4-hour structure twice. And what is it? It's not range 1, it's range 2. So when we're coming down and people think here, like, we're still in the range, but this is actually breaking range 1, this is where you're most likely to have a fake out. But once you break through range 2, then you're going to have that continuation down to your next support, right? But now, if we look at that in the reverse, so range 1, caution. I'm not bullish here yet. Why? Because as I was saying, it's susceptible to fake outs. It's also the 618 fib. 618 fib, very strong fib level. And this is where you're going to most likely have your reversal to the downside. So if we were to fake out, we fake out at 45, right? And that's where that bounce. We fake out, we take out the low, and then that's how we drive down. But if we come down, make another higher low, and now start closing where? Into range 2, right? So we have range 1 and range 2, but range 2 is not susceptible to fake out. This is your range 2. You saw once we broke range 2, we had a clear downside move. As the same for upside, so range 1 here, right? And then this is range 2, okay? As the same for upside, so now that's on the downside. So as the same for upside, this was range 1. So this is where your fake outs are going to happen. And this is range 2. So when we broke range 2 to the downside, we had that move. So if we break back into range 1, into range 2 on the upside, sorry if this is getting confusing, but watch it back. Try to understand this. This is very advanced content. You know, people pay a lot of money to learn this. But, you know, if you break back into range 2 here, then I think you have that continuation. Where's that range 2 coming in? Around this area, 47, 48,000, right? And that's where I begin to get bullish. And that's when I say that, listen, yes, this is when we start turning the things and we can continue up, and long term it is looking good. And that level is coming in at 47,000, right? So coming back to our charts, let's see how relevant that is on the lower time frames. And we can see that 47,000 is breaking back into this accumulation range here. And then eventually we would get above here and it starts to make sense, right? And we're breaking back into our big range here that has held a lot of support here. So, you know, minus the explanation, I get bullish at 47,000. With that being said, guys, take care, trade sharp, and until next time, peace.